With regards to, we were talking about, the binary women and men, and the idea that you can think that you're a man and be a man, or think you're a woman. Did you see that coming at all, like 10, 20 years ago?
Not at all, no.
Like, it is odd.
I think it's lunatic, actually. I mean, it's verging on insanity. So I did not see that coming. I mean, I could have imagined writing a satirical novel about it, but that's about it.
Yeah. I remember Ricky Gervais makes a joke about that when he says, I think it was just that. It was like the one thing nobody said 10 years ago. That would be the worst thing you can say on Twitter is women don't have penises. Now that would get you.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think to top that is identify as a dog. I mean,
God. I can imagine now there'll be so many angry comments even now just from this, and I don't know. It's a weird thing. I want to respect everybody and understand everybody, but it just really is something that. Okay, so is there if you have to really stretch your mind, is there any scientific backing for the concept of somebody's, like, there's a woman brain and a man brain, and
there might be that. There might be that, but to go from that to saying because you have a female outlook on life or something, therefore you are a woman. I mean that is just debauching language. It's one thing, and it's perfectly legitimate to say I am a man, but I feel a certain feminine attitude to things. I feel perhaps I think like a woman. That's fine. I mean that doesn't worry me at all. But to then say, therefore I am a woman, is just a betrayal of language, of truth and the virtues of honest communication.
I find the ideology very conservative because it tells me that if my son wants to play with things that are typically feminine or stereotypically feminine, then they have to change to fit in. They have to become a woman to fit in with that.
Yes, I quite agree.
It's a crazy thing, really. So, okay, so if we are just to go out there a bit, I mean, are there aspects of brains that are male and typically female?
Probably. I don't know much about it. I wouldn't wish to deny that. But it's not a very profound observation. I think that you can find aspects of feminine sympathy in some male people and vice versa, and it would be surprising if that were not so. But as I said, but to go from that to the positive statement, "I am a woman," is verging on insanity.
Is it dangerous?
Well, I think that people certain people like Kathleen Stock and J.K. Rowling have suffered in their lives and their careers as a consequence of speaking out on behalf of women, and they so far haven't, I think, actually suffered physical danger, but some of them have come close to it.
The saddest part about J.K. Rowling is that she was abused by her first husband and left in the street in a pool of her own blood in Portugal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, before she wrote Harry Potter. And she had a very difficult time during that time. So for her, it's a really personal thing about women's spaces and changing rooms and things like that.
I did not know that.
It's so sad. It's so sad to think that. And then the Harry Potter stuff, I mean, it's an analogy for the Nazis. I don't know. Have you read Harry Potter?
I have, yes.
Did you enjoy it?
I didn't know. Well, yes, I enjoyed it. I held out against it for a while, but then I discovered that Stephen Fry was reading it, and I can't resist Stephen Fry, and so I listened to him, and I liked it. I mean, quite a lot of what I like is that she's actually sending up the magical stuff. I mean, it's kind of satirical. I didn't know it had anything to do with the Nazis. That's
the whole. Well, as it goes further into the whole mythology, I think there's like the good and the bad and the pure bloods.
Okay, I was carry on. I've only read the first 2 or 3 books, I think.
Oh, they develop. It's funny because it's so brilliant. So I'm going to show off now, right? So I can speak 5 languages, and each time I learned a new one, I did it through Harry Potter in Spanish or French. So there's the 7 books. I'm not sure. And what's brilliant about it as a language tool is they start very much for children. They're like for a reading age of 11 or 12, and the writing becomes a little bit more complex.
Yes,
it's not Dostoevsky at any point, but it starts to get there by the final book. You're really in this big epic about the bad people who want everyone to have the pure blood, like the Nazis.
Yes, that sounds very interesting.
So
I shall resume.
Yes,
my Stephen Fry listening.
He's great, Stephen Fry. I heard him talk a little bit about doing those audiobooks, and there were certain words he was tripping over. And
yes, I heard that. Yeah.
He asked J.K. Rowling, "Can I do different words?" And she said no.
Yes,
which fair enough. If you're the writer, you know. Gosh, Stephen Fry, have you done debates with him? I'm just remembering now because I know he did Intelligence Squared. Was that with you or was Christopher Hitchens?
Yes, it was Christopher Hitchens. I've encountered him from time to time. I like him enormously. He's a wonderful man.
We should get him in. I'd love to meet Stephen Fry as well. Fantastic person. So the J.K. Rowling thing I think is really sad. Do you notice, I don't know, there sometimes seems to be different decades where we're a bit more is the word censorious?
Yes.
Yeah, we're a bit more censorious for sort of a decade, and then we sort of relax a little bit. Yeah. Children rebel against their parents.
Yes.
Do you think that might be what's really going on?
Possibly. Yes, could be.
What does the poetry of reality mean? That's your Substack at the moment and podcast coming out?
Yes. Well, I think reality, as understood by science, is amazing and wonderful, and the fact that we can apprehend it, the fact that we can understand it, the fact that we, unlike any of our ancestors up to a century or so ago, 2 centuries maybe, really hadn't a clue why we existed and where we come from. And we now have a very good understanding of that. And it's beautiful. I mean, the beauty of understanding, the poetry of understanding is what I mean by science as the poetry of reality.
I suppose some people could argue, because they used to think stars were, holes in the heavens or something.
Yes.
That, in some senses, that's more beautiful than bubbles of gas, isn't
it?
It's
not.
No.
No.
And why? Is it because it's truth that it's more beautiful?
Well, partly that, but also, apart from being true, the alternative, the idea of it being holes in the sky, is just so petty. It's so small. It's so unromantic. It's just parochial.
I sort of wish it were true sometimes.
Oh, come on.
Because I want to continue living.
Well, that's okay. You go on, but I mean, believing that the stars are holes poked in the sky is not going to help you continue living.
Well, the suggestion would then be, like, if the heavens were beyond it and it's heavenly light pouring through, the suggestion would be that I then get to ascend to that plane.
If you want to go on living, I wouldn't go and live in the heaven of any religion.
I would.
Incredibly boring.
Yeah, better. Well, less boring than the alternative.
I doubt it.
Really?
I doubt it.
I always think of, like, okay, because my religion would be, because I'm an atheist as well, and again, all my viewers start messaging, no, you're not, you're an agnostic because you don't know, or something like that. But I think I would say I'm probably an atheist. But I definitely am. But my religion is sort of a thing probably at the back of my head that's going, but you're never going to really die. So you're going to be, maybe there'll be virtual reality. I was thinking about this, some sort of virtual reality that makes you experience time when you're in the virtual reality. You can spend years and years, but you're actually lying there in real life for just seconds.
Yes.
If they could slow down your mind or something like that. So I'm sort of holding out for that.
Wishful thinking.
Or that they'll discover something in quantum physics. Is there anything there?
I don't think so. No, I think you got to face up to reality.
Never. Is there a time when that happens? Did you have angst younger about that reality?
Yes, I suppose so. Yes.
Professor Paul Bloom said recently, he was saying that you spend your first half of your life sort of writing your CV, and the second half is you're writing your eulogy. Does that resonate with you?
No. No, I think I don't make any distinction between first half and second half. I've been doing the same thing all the time.
He was trying to make me feel better, I think, about getting older. And he was like, yours get used, you'll accept more and you'll look at your sort of...
I see, yes. I just carry on thinking I'm about 18 and getting on with what I do.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. The Poetry of Reality, tell me a little bit about what that's... I mean, it's a Substack now, right? And then it's going to be a podcast?
Yes, it is. And I shall be I'm doing much the same as what you're doing, I think. I mean, I shall be interviewing people and probably doing some contributions of my own, maybe writing stuff directly and putting up things that I've done before, putting up on the YouTube channel, putting up broadcasts and things that I've done before.
Yeah. Have you got interviewees in mind yet? Because I haven't received my invite yet.
I haven't given it very much thought, but yes, that sounds a good possibility.
Yeah. Would you get me on? I'd come on.
You'd love it, would you?
Yeah, of course I would.
Yeah, okay.
I'm up for that. I think I can offer a layperson perspective to things. Maybe that's what you want.
I mean, I think we could talk about your Argentinian exorcist. Yes, that would be very good.
I would be up for that. You've had to say yes because I've cornered you now.
Yeah.
I won't get an email back later. I was looking at some of the discussions that are on your Substack because I think these are really interesting, and maybe we can go.
It's only been open for about a day, hasn't it? I think
so.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on these. I'm checking out all the stuff. What is this? Scientists in the US and Canada banned the words women, mother, and father. That's not one of yours, actually. That's just me saying it, isn't it? There are some words.
I never said that. Yes.
Yeah, that was just me. My notes were all mixed up.
Yes.
There are some words that I suppose they go into the other side of your brain, I'm told. Again, you'll know more about this than I will. But I remember, again, Stephen Fry put his hand in some cold water. And if he swore a lot, it enabled him to do it for longer. And I think the reasoning was that these words were in a sort of, they weren't in the language, they were sort of on the other.
I see.
Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Yeah. So I just assume I'll assume you'll know all the sciencey things, but they're all different. It's different domains, isn't it? And those words apparently go into the other side, swear words, sacred words. You might not say, well, I know I'm not allowed to say the N word, for example. Is that reasonable?
I know nothing about what is what reasonable.
That we shouldn't say the N word.
Well, I think you have to. Yes, I mean, I think it's reasonable. Yes.
Yeah, or there's an F word for gay people.
Okay,
a bundle of sticks.
Yes, I had to think about that. Yes. Okay.
Those are like. Well, that's the interest. This was also John McWhorter, actually.
Yes.
He was saying that these sacred words change. I love the linguistic stuff. And he was saying that sacred words change over time.
Yes.
So it was bodily functions, fuck, shit, hell. I don't mind saying these. It's not going to get my YouTube taken down. First was the religious ones. Hell, damn, those kinds of things.
Yes.
Then it was shit and fuck. They became they were, as we moved on as a society. And then it became identity. That's been the last 30, 40 years.
As long as that is it. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, we've moved into that, and it's. I guess some of us we're trying to come to terms with it, but they've become sacred like any other religion.
Yes, that's interesting. Yeah,
I said well, what will be next? And he said, you never know, but it could be something like related to climate change, as that's going to become incredible. He said, imagine calling somebody a windmill.
Yes, that's interesting.
I like that. Yeah, I love thinking about those kinds of things, but with the linguistics,
I do too. Yes.
It might just be a temporary phase with this identity thing.
Yes, it might.